Welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel, where we are highlighting some incredible organizations doing work in the area. I'm your host, Sam Peterson, and today our guest is Jessica Kruger from the St. Martin Center, where they are strengthening lives and supporting our community by providing immediate assistance, education, and long-term services. Jessica, great to have you today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I guess we can jump right in and just kind of start here. So give me kind of a bird's eye view of what you guys do at the St. Martin Center.
We do a little of everything. We have an emergency needs department, which helps out with things like emergency food, financial assistance, which is rent, mortgage, security deposit. We have long-term programs to help families become more self-sufficient, including home buying education, financial counseling. We have an amazing early learning center. There's something for everybody. We serve ages 6 weeks up to seniors.
Gotcha. So how would someone go about accessing the programs that you offer? What programs do you offer? And then also, do you see a lot of like referrals to there, or is it just more of people coming in and saying, I need assistance?
Great question. So first of all, I'll start with the programs, kind of dive a little bit more into that. Our food pantry is one of the largest in all of Erie County. So for us, that's in terms of the amount of food that we're giving out and the number of people that we're serving. Throughout the last few years, we've continued to serve record numbers of people through the pandemic and now as they recover afterwards as well. The food pantry is very easily accessible right at our location. It is open Monday through Friday from 9 to noon and 1 to 3. And they just need their photo ID, and we only ask a few basic questions about their household size, income. We try to make it very easy. You know, if somebody is showing up hungry, you don't want to put them through the ringer just to try to get what they need. So that is very accessible. The rent, mortgage, and security deposit assistance is through what's called the Coordinated Entry Program in Erie County. So that is 814 shelter. So anybody in our area who needs any assistance with housing, so if it's for a mortgage payment, rent assistance, security deposits, any of those things, they would call 814 shelter. And then they make the official referral to any agency in town who might be able to help based on what the household's need is, and then maybe under what criteria they meet. So all of us have different funding sources, of course, so we can help out different pockets at a time. So that is one point of entry where anybody can call that and get the help that they need. Our Early Learning Center is on 18th and State. If anybody is from the Erie area, it was a national city bank. It's been a bank forever and ever on a very popular corner there. And we were really excited to purchase that in 2016, renovate it, make it our own, add classrooms. And we serve ages 6 weeks up to 13 years there. We have before and after school care too for kids who need it. We have a pre-K counts program, which is free pre-K schooling for children to get them ready for kindergarten. And we have 2 classrooms for that. That is accessible. We're actually enrolling right now, so if anybody is looking for a place for their child, we are currently enrolling, and they can just call the agency and ask for information about that. As far as referral or word of mouth, it's a little bit of both. So the referrals have to, as I mentioned, come through for certain programs through certain methods, but we have a lot of word of mouth. So our food pantry, any of our holiday programs that we provide, a lot of that is word of mouth. Even for like the rent and mortgage assistance, we'll have somebody reach out and say, hey, I heard that you offer this, how can I access that? And we go through that with them. So the Early Learning Center is a large part word of mouth too. You know, you have happy parents and happy kids, they're gonna tell their friends and family where to go. So we work really, really well with a lot of local agencies to refer our clients as needed. We don't do everything, and we don't want to do everything. We want to work with the people that do other programs. So we refer out, we take in referrals. It's a combination.
So I see this as like there's a lot of people that are probably, they might be on that border, they're food insecure, they're worrying about where their next meal might come from. And then there's some people like experiencing homelessness. So my question would be, who do you serve? Like in that range of people, who do you really serve with the programs that you offer?
So our programs serve everything that you just mentioned and more. So we do serve homeless. We actually have a program specifically to help homeless get housed. Again, if somebody is watching this and needs more information, that would still be under that 814 shelter category. And actually, if there was ever somebody that, contacted us and they don't have somewhere to go, that's also the number for a shelter bed. So they coordinate all of that. So we serve homeless, Through our food pantry too, we serve homeless. Our staff and volunteers are really amazing at making sure that they can match the food pantry needs with who's at the door. So if someone is coming in and they're in that situation, they're food insecure, they are also quite literally homeless, we're not going to give them something that they need a stove for or a refrigerator for. They're very, very mindful of what they can provide that person. And then our other programs, like our financial counseling, our home buying counseling, those are for people that are likely beyond that level. So our financial counseling is amazing for somebody who's trying to get their budget in order, trying to get their credit in order. Our housing counseling is, you want to buy a home someday and you have no idea what those steps are. Maybe you're ready right now and you're ready to get this process rolling. Maybe you're like, that's a someday thing. Can I get there? Is it achievable? If you've ever purchased a home, it's a very complicated process. There's so many parties involved.
As a new homeowner, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I went through it about 7 years ago, and I think I'm still scarred. I'm still like, everybody needs to take this class. There's so much to know, and the class simplifies it. So that's where everybody else, so to speak, would come in if they're not in that homeless or food insecure place. And then we also serve senior citizens. So we have a special senior food program that's through Second Harvest. And once a month, they receive a specialized box of food. So it would have like non-perishables, higher protein items, things that are targeted to meet the needs of seniors. So we help them out with that as well. So it truly is something for everybody.
Gotcha. Now, with all of these services that you've been talking about, what area do you serve with them? How far out do you guys go?
So we, as you can imagine, we primarily are reaching the city of Erie just based on our physical location at 17th and Parade, but our programs are open to everybody. So we serve Erie County, and then we are part of the Diocese of Erie, so we serve their footprint as well, which is all 13 counties within the diocese. So you're talking like Erie, Crawford, Venango, that entire wide footprint. So that's not our... I can't say we serve a lot from there, but we certainly take them and would not turn somebody away from that footprint. So we have I think that's something that surprises people, is not only do we offer more than people realize, there's no cost to our programs. You don't always have to meet a certain income criteria for everything. We help everybody, and we have a very wide footprint.
Gotcha. So I guess, where do you see the St. Martin Center going? Just throwing a date out there in the next 10 years.
Sure. I think any nonprofit would tell you that the ultimate goal is to be put out of business. I don't know that that's feasible in 10 years, but I think within 10 years, we want to be seen as having a bigger player, or being a bigger player in a lot of the movements that are happening within Erie. So we have firmly believed in a long time that, self-sufficiency, economic development, these are all pieces that we're playing a role of. When we're providing assistance to homeowners and educating them to purchase homes in the city, we are helping out the local tax base. We're keeping, through foreclosure assistance, we're keeping households in their homes so that they're not facing a spiral into poverty. We're trying to meet people where they are and boost them. And I'd like to think that in 10 years, we would be doing more of that and even better, and be more on the radar.
So we talked a bit about just kind of how much of a pain buying a house could be. And I know that we have, you talked a bit about that home buying workshop that you have. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. For those who have followed St. Martin Center for a while, you know that was one of our major programs for a long time. We did a lot of home buying education, foreclosure prevention, pre and post purchase counseling, really wrapping around homeowners from the beginning to the end of the process. And during COVID, like a lot of agencies went through, this was one of our programs we unfortunately had to kind of put on hiatus. And we've been really excited to bring it back this year, and we've kind of gone full speed ahead with it. We have, between that and our financial counseling, we got them off the ground again this year through an award from the National Fuel Foundation. They were instrumental in helping us to kind of restart this again. Our vision for this was to make it accessible so that people wouldn't always have to come to our center necessarily to take the classes. So not only so we could reach people that maybe don't have transportation, but also those that live in the county. I mean, there really aren't programs like this to county pockets, and those are areas that get overlooked a lot. So we're really excited to be partnering with the Erie County Public Library System. We're starting very locally with the Blasco Library, and we've had a few classes broadcasting to them. So we hold them at our facility and even have students there. And then people are attending at Blasco too. And it's worked out really wonderfully so far. You know, they're down there asking questions and our staff is answering, and they have all the materials. And it's a really nice opportunity to take advantage of a great resource like the library. It's free to go in there. People are comfortable with it. They know where it's at. It's a very central location, and we want to start using that same system to going into libraries around the county. We did a pilot class with the Albion Library, for instance, because people in Albion might not have access to these programs and can't just drive to Erie, or they might have a car, but they don't want to drive all the way to Erie from Albion to take a class. So. Yeah. We've been excited to do that. Our home buying workshop is phenomenal. As I mentioned briefly, it takes you through all of the steps. So why should you work with a realtor as opposed to doing it yourself? What do closing costs look like? What does any of that mean? What is escrow? Why do you need an inspection? If you go through the process, somebody might say like, okay, well, the house looks great. You can bypass the inspection. Here's your next steps. If you don't know any different, you're going to go, okay, I trust who I'm working with. It's fine. It's really something that we feel is important to do. So we even go through the paperwork with you, like there's sample paperwork where we say, here's what you want to look for. Here's what the documents look like. Here's what you're signing. I mean, you sign your signature 800 times. Are you really reading everything?
Sat there for a half hour and signed documents.
Yes.
After a while, it just kind of like, you're like, oh, okay.
I'll just keep putting my name on it if you give me the keys, It's,
yeah, exactly.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So we want homeowners to feel empowered. And we know that empowered, smart homeowners, they're making sound decisions that they're going to be able to stay in those homes. You don't want somebody to go into a home that they can't afford, that they don't know what comes after. I mean, we talk to them about their taxes, home maintenance, all those things that most of us don't really know much about going into the process. And then tying with that, rather, the very first step would be the financial counseling. So it sounds like one of those scary things, but the class is phenomenal. So first of all, there is a group setting where it's an overview. What does your credit look like? How do you do a household budget? How do you have a month where you've got more bills than money? How do you prioritize what you should pay? And that's not to say that you shouldn't pay all of your bills, but sometimes there are an order to things you need to keep the roof over your head, There are certain things like that. And then we offer one-on-one counseling too. And we have 2 HUD certified housing counselors. So what that means is they have gone through the rigorous requirements set forth by the federal government. And they now have certifications that say that they have the knowledge, they have the know-how, they have the expertise to guide you through your budget. So you think, why should I listen to you? What are you bringing to the table to guide me? Well, that's what we're bringing to the table, is they have actual certification, and they can sit down with you and go over your household budget, pull up your credit report, a tri-merge report, which is very unique for agencies providing this, and help you to dispute items if you need to, all of it. And the best part of all of this, both programs, they're completely free. There is no income guideline, so you can't make too little or too much. Truthfully, like we've had, 6-figure incomes come through either of those classes. Anybody can benefit from all of that. We've had people that don't make very much money that want to know, how do I do this? So there's no income guideline. It's all completely free.
So it does sound like you guys truly serve like all ends of the spectrum in terms of the services you offer. And again, even down to like those people that are in need of immediate assistance to the people that just might need a little help. It seems like you're tying it all together with those services that you offer.
Yes, and I think that's one thing, I'm biased, but I think that's one thing that sets us apart, is that we really do have programs for everybody. And I'd like to say too, what we don't have, we know where to send somebody. I always encourage people to call. Even if it's something we haven't mentioned here, we generally know where to refer somebody. Like, there's nothing worse than having a problem and you don't know where to go, or an agency just says, I'm sorry, we can't provide that. We try to at least find you an answer. So we're really proud that we can not only do that, but that we do serve everybody.
That's great. Now, one of the things that you had mentioned earlier, just in passing, was the Early Learning Center. I wanted to learn some more about that, because that's something that I've driven past, I've seen, and I really don't know anything about.
Yeah, sure. I feel like probably at this point everybody's driven past it, and you see the fun playground and the mural. That is our largest program, and it has achieved a Star 4 rating through the Keystone Stars program.
A lot of stars.
It's a lot of stars, and it's exciting. That is Pennsylvania's rating system for early learning centers, and it is, my goodness, it is a rigorous requirement. So you earn that Star 4, and they have to re-earn that every year. It's not just like a gimme for eternity. So they work really hard to keep that, and it speaks to the curriculum that they have, the standards that they keep. It's a really wonderful place. And one thing that really sets the Early Learning Center apart, I mean, Erie has no shortage of places to send your child. One thing we're really proud of is we have a continuity of care model of learning, and we're the only center in Erie County that has this. And what it does is it groups children from the time that they enter our center at 6 weeks to pre-K, so when they're tiny, groups them with the same class, so the same students and teachers from that early point up until kindergarten. So in theory, from 6 weeks until like age 3 or 4, they'd be with the same group. And a lot of centers will transition once they hit a birthday milestone, and that can be challenging for a child who doesn't understand why then the very next day they're suddenly in a different classroom. So we have found that not only does this help things become easier for the child, it really fosters bonds for the teacher and the parents and the child. So the parent feels comfortable talking to teachers. They trust them if the parent says, here are some development things that we're looking at. They know that teacher really knows their child, and the child, first and foremost, above everything, is comfortable. They're growing, they're learning, they're making friends, they're thriving and flourishing, and that's really important. So the teacher has this many years to be watching their milestones, be watching their development, to really work with that child one-on-one for a few years to make sure that they're succeeding, so that they're set up for schooling down the road.
So if you're a parent and you really, this sounds extremely interesting to you, who do you guys serve at the Early Learning Center?
So we serve starting at age 6 weeks.
Yeah.
We have babies up to age 13, and once they get into school age, we do offer before and after school care too. So I would just call the Early Learning Center directly. Kelly is the one in charge of enrollment. She will have all the information for you. We do offer subsidized tuition through the Early Learning Resource Center, and Kelly has all that information as well. So if this is something that a parent is looking at, definitely give us a call.
Gotcha. So do you have any events that are coming up that could really help you guys out?
Yes, we have our Erie's Best Coffee event. This has really taken off throughout the last few years. It's become a favorite, and we're really excited. It's in February. This next year, it is February 25th. It is at the Ambassador, which is a new location this year. We've been at the Convention Center for a few years, and we're switching things up. We're going to be up at the Ambassador. We're really excited. It's a fun event. So it's a coffee sampling event. So much like other wine tasting, chili tasting, all those events, you pay an admission, you get to go and drink all the coffee you can possibly handle, and then you vote for your favorite coffee shop. So we have several awards. We have an overall Erie's Best Coffee, which is great bragging rights. And then we have some other awards like Best Decaf, Best Flavored, Best Specialty Drink. We worked really hard to make it a family-friendly event too. We have some kids activities. Some years we've had some Disney princesses come and entertain the kids. We have a photo booth, live music, all kinds of great things. And it's a really fun time.
So who won last year?
So last year, Parista, the Cat Cafe, down on West 8th Street, they came through and they swept the majority of the awards.
Wow.
Tipsy Bean, we have a celebrity judge panel that they're local celebrities that raise money for us, and then on that day, they come and do a blind taste test. So they did their blind taste test, and Tipsy Bean won their award, and then Parista won the other award. So it was really exciting, especially for a first-timer Parista to do that well. And of course, Tipsy got the bragging rights that all the judges chose them, so it was nice.
Did you have a personal favorite?
I never get to sample very much. I'm usually, so I coordinate a good chunk of the event along with the committee, and I'm usually the one that's kind of hopping around to make sure everybody has what they need. And
But you're drinking the coffee before to make.
I am drinking, so I try to, I did get to sneak in some Tipsy Bean last year, and it was definitely worthy of the award. I've been to Parista, love their cafe, so it's, yeah, but it's in February. Tickets will be, they're on sale right now, $12 in advance. That's through January 1st. Then they're going to go to $15, and kids under 12 are free. All Erie Federal Credit Union locations have paper tickets if you still like your old-fashioned paper ticket, and you bank there. It's a handy place to get your ticket then. So we're really excited.
So beyond the Erie's Best Coffee event, if we talked about a lot today in terms of the services you guys offer, and if any of our viewers wanted to help, how would they do so?
There are several ways. So, I mean, of course, we're a nonprofit, and I mentioned a lot of things that we're doing. So monetary donations are always going to be very, very valuable and appreciated. If you're not in a position to do that, or you're looking for something else to do, we can always use volunteers. We need volunteers in our food pantry. And then with various events like Erie's Best Coffee that I mentioned, sometimes administrative stuff like helping us to file and get things in order. One thing that a lot of groups have enjoyed doing, and that's really helpful for us and the people that we serve, is doing drives for us. So that could be like a toiletry drive, cleaning supplies that we can pass on to families, winter items, that sort of thing. Those are all really helpful pieces, and people can just reach out to us through our website or Facebook or give us a call for information on that.
Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you, the viewers, for tuning in. We learned so much about the St. Martin Center, so please consider going online, donating, volunteering your time, and maybe buying a ticket to Erie's Best Coffee. Till next time, I'm Sam Peterson. Have a great day.